that that brother wasn't there.
Right.
And not only that, the dude that died at the end, who was the shotgun bearer, the FBI, he was an FBI agent.
Wow.
Because they don't say that, but if look at this, he's even in the picture, like when they take him out, you see this big brother was him. And like it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Like they did it.
Right.
The brothers pulled the trigger, but them niggas was set up.
Right, and they also in that same documentary they show the files where J. Edgar Hoover says something to the effect like, you know what I'm saying, like deal with him.
Yeah, he said
do something about it.
He said do something about this guy.
Yeah.
What do you think that meant?
Exactly.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? Crazy stuff. You know what I mean?
But it showed, the bottom line is it showed that same spirit that you was just speaking of, is what they've always had, man.
And that's why we in the ISUPK, we don't like Trump, we don't respect Trump, but we damn sure appreciate his presence. Because all it does is just prove that everything we've been saying was the truth since 1969. We already knew it was, but now it's like, I mean, really, you gonna argue with us?
And it's like the scripture say, he's like the looking glass. You wipe the looking glass, he's the looking glass because he's showing everything.
Yeah, man. It's rusted, man. It's over him. You know what I mean? But yeah, Trump definitely, he represents the collective mindset of America.
Right. That's why they're supporting him. And I would bet money that he wins.
He's probably going to win again. The fact that he won the first time tells you something. You understand? Like when I first heard that, what's up, Please, what you got?
No, I'm about to tell you, the brother brought it out. He only run by like 40,000 more votes or something like that?
No,
he actually lost
by
the popular
3 million votes. But the electoral,
he lost
by 3 million.
He lost by the popular vote, right? But that's not what elects the president. The Electoral College elects the president. And in certain states, those states that have a higher, you know what I'm saying, not just population, but they have more votes in the Electoral College, they're going to outweigh. So yeah, you might get more. You might win Delaware, right? You might win Delaware and Rhode Island and whatever. But if you don't win Texas, it don't matter.
But this is what it is. The Electoral College is a thing that they put in as a safeguard to keep Whitey in power. Because Gore won the popular vote against Bush in the second election as well. He won. He had more votes than Bush, but Bush won the Electoral College.
That was a different situation though, because remember they thought that it wasn't just Electoral College. There was a controversy about the actual count in Florida.
And when the count in Florida was found that Bush had won because of that gave him the Electoral College vote in Florida.
Right.
So that was the Electoral
College. But the Electoral College, whether or not it's useful or not, has nothing to do with Blacks, Hispanics, Natives. Whether or not the popular vote, because guess what? If Hillary won, you think we'd be, where would that put us?
In the same place.
In the same goddamn place.
Yep.
Hillary Clinton, the Clinton administration incarcerated more black males than I think any president.
Yeah. Right. And
the Clinton administration.
Personally, the Clintons destroyed Harlem.
I bet they did. And wasn't Hillary Clinton, wasn't she living up in New York?
No.
Not in Harlem, but she ended up becoming a senator.
What happened in a nutshell was Clinton was trying to move in. Bill Clinton was trying to get this office on 57th Street.
I kind of vaguely remember this.
And the Jews didn't want him in there. So Charlie Ringel offered that nigga a spot at 55 West, 125th office building. And he moved in there. And this was in 2003. Immediately, the rents, like people paying $600 for rent, $700 for rent, including myself. Immediately, the rents was $1,000. It was crazy. And then this is when the whites started infiltrating.
Right. Of course. I'm glad you, again, Most High in Christ, I'm glad you're bringing that up because we're going to get into that today. Because today is another one of them disgusting holidays. Today is what they call President's Day.
Oh, shit, bro.
You didn't even know? See, this is one of the ones where they don't shut down everything. People wasn't in school today. Right. But the ABC store, Most High in Christ, was open. ABC store was 12.
I didn't know I would have gotten some business.
Yeah, the ABC store was 12. You know what I'm saying? Most High in Christ. But nonetheless, we got to get into it. But we got a little bit of spillover from last week. So I want to get this dude just please.
You mean to tell me that on Martin Luther King Day the liquor store is closed, but on President's Day it's open?
I feel like if you should look at it as like an insult. They got the liquor store open for their holiday. They got so you can celebrate the presidents. You can celebrate them. You can go to the liquor store and get you man. You know what I mean? Not that we don't give a damn about Orgy Mike, but Orgy Mike Day you can't do nothing. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
That is crazy.
But hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? No sweat. But by the way, if I may, if anybody got any questions, man, type them in the chat. Shalom, sisters. Y'all Shamal, Adabashimashah. If you got any questions about anything, just go ahead and type it in the chat. If I can answer it, then I will. If not, then I will definitely write it down and get back to you on it. Also, if there's any comments, if you want to bring anything out, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and do that. Also, please, if you can, Baba Kusha. You know what I mean? Everybody that's tuning in on the Facebook or the YouTube, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to the Isupk Durham YouTube page. And also, you're already on the Facebook page, but if you can't, go over to the YouTube page and like and subscribe and share it as well. So, real fast, we're going to just, last week, we talked about, man, I was reading my book. Last week, we went over that disgusting holiday, Valentine's Day. We found out it had nothing to do with the Bible. Actually, an ancient Roman festival called Lupercalia, right? Which is all about illicit sex and disgustingness. I mean, but we could have guessed that, right? Is what it is. So we also talked about the fact that this symbol right here that is heavily associated with Valentine's Day. This symbol, I don't know if I can see that, right?
Yeah.
We found out that this symbol is, in fact, oh my gosh, what a surprise. It's not a heart. It is, in fact, representative of female anatomy. It's representative of everything that every nigger cannot wait to get his hands on. That he's going to spend. It doesn't represent her feelings. Instead, it actually represents all the money that he's going to put in going to that nice restaurant in hopes that when he takes her home that night, he's going to get some of this. That's what it represents. This symbol is not a heart. You understand? This symbol actually represents the female anatomy. And now we're going to get a little bit more information just to prove it real fast before we get into the actual topic of today's class. So, Salakia. Yanazar, I'm about to send you an article. What's going on with my computer?
I'm ready.
I got you about to send it to you right now. Just give me. I got a few articles. I'm gonna send you one at a time. I'm not gonna like flood it. So you start. I'm gonna send you this. Again, some of it. Again, if we're using Wikipedia, we're not using it to go over any real history. We might just use it just to kind of gloss over. You understand? Certain things, some basic information. So, that's that one. I'm gonna send you one more. Let me know when you got it out. The second one might be too wild. You may even need the version.
I got Eros, Wikipedia, and I got Google.com, Enos, two Enos. I guess they must be the same. No, they're different.
Say it again?
Enos.
No, not Enos.
Not Enos.
Eros.
Oh, man. Let me get my glasses clean. Eros. Erotica. It's funny, man.
Yup, you read the second one. The one that says Greek mythology. Read that one. Don't even worry about the Wikipedia, because the Wikipedia just gives you a little gloss over. Matter of fact, I'll read that real fast while you go to the second one. All right, Doc?
Okay.
We got to read about, because this symbol right here, matter of fact, I'm gonna draw. Let me just draw a little bit more of it. Salaki, if I may. Who's seen? So we've all seen this symbol before, right?
Kind of the one.
We've seen this, right? Everybody's seen that. Well, who's seen this? You know, the little thing, right? It's a little like dashes. Boom. Let me see. Now, who's seen it where it's something like this? Like an arrow. Y'all seen it like this? Right?
Definitely.
Well, let's find out the real origin of that, man. Let's find out. So we know what that symbol represents. That symbol don't represent your goddamn heart. That's not what it represents. So let me read this. Salaki. Eros in Greek mythology. Eros, ancient Greek, desire, is the Greek god of love and sex. His Roman counterpart was Cupid, desire. In the earliest account, he is a primordial god, while in later accounts, he is described as one of the children of Aphrodite and Ares, and with some of his siblings, was one of the Erotis, a group of winged love gods. So he was a part, him and his siblings were a group representing a group of love gods. But what was Cupid? Again, now y'all know that, again, we all know this now because we talk about it in class so much. Every Roman god has a Greek counterpart and so on. So in Greek mythology, he's called, let me make sure I got this right. I'm going to say the wrong thing. In Greek mythology, he's called Eros. Eros. In Roman, he's called what?
Cupid.
He's called Cupid. Cupid. Now, of all of these love gods, which one did Cupid or Eros represent?
You mean the image?
No, I mean, there's a way you love your children.
Okay.
There's a way you love your wife. There's a way you love your mother. What kind of love did Cupid represent? Yeah,
Sexual love.
Most High in Christ. He represented sexual love. Cupid was the Roman equivalent.
I'm in class.
Was the Roman equivalent of Eros. Eros was the Greek god of sex. That is where we get what word? Please.
Erotic.
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 Erotic or erotica. Erotic meaning sex. If you look at the etymology here, we have on the etymonline.com, Eros, god of love, late 14th century from the Greek eros, plural erotis, god or personification of love. Literally, love from Aaron to love, Aristai to love, desire. You understand? Freudian sense of urge to self-preservation and sexual pleasure is from 1922. Salakia. Now check this out. It says, ancient Greek distinguished 4 ways of love. I'm going to read the other ones first. Phileo, have affection for. Agapeo, have regard for, be contented with. Sturgo, used especially for the love of parents and children, or a ruler and his subjects. Here's the one, this is the one though. The first one is erau. Erau, to be in love with, to desire passionately or sexually. Erao, that's spelled E-R-A-O. Salakia. Hold on 1 second. I need to check something real quick. Sounds like the word arousal, doesn't it?
Exactly.
That's what it was. You understand? Now you go ahead and read what you got. Let's get some history on Cupid before we jump to this President's Day. Never spend too much time on this, but I told y'all I would get this for y'all. I want to make sure I got it.
Greek mythology. Eros, known as Cupid to the Romans, was the Greek god of sexual attraction, a constant companion of Aphrodite, variously depicted as either a beautiful youth or a mischievous nude boy.
And what?
A mischievous nude boy.
He was depicted as a mischievous nude boy. I'm not going to pull up a picture because y'all already got it in your head. We've all seen that when we think of Cupid, we think of some little fat, you know what I'm saying, pale baby with wings floating around with a bow and arrow with no clothes on. You know what I'm saying? We're reading about the history right now. Read on.
Eros is most commonly represented.
And let's just make that, let's keep that in mind as well. That we have already established that Eros or Cupid, they're the same person, is the god of sex and sexual pleasure. And we're reading right now on GreekMythology.com. This is not some secret website. This is common. That their representative of sexual pleasure was a what? Go back.
A mischievous nude boy.
In Roman culture, their god of sex, read it again, was a what?
A mischievous nude boy.
A mischievous nude boy. I wish I was making this up.
Hey, yo.
This is too easy, bro.
Yeah.
It's too easy. This is on their, this is not like some ISUK created website where this is their site. You know what I'm saying? Most High in Christ, my brother Shabbat Allah, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? This is their sites. And it says that Salakia, variously depicted as either a beautiful youth, which was still a boy, if I may, Salakia, or a mischievous nude boy, when the last sentence said he was known as Cupid to the Romans, was the Greek god of sexual attraction. The god of sexual attraction is a naked male baby? Oh, now it starts to make sense why they are the way they are. Why certain things about their culture are just common to them. You do know that Roman men had sex with each other, right?
Absolutely.
We know that Roman men practice what is called what? Pederasty, which means what? It is the sexual relationship between an adult male and an adolescent boy. That's how they got down. Read on, Doc.
Eros is most commonly represented with a bow and an unlimited number of arrows, which he uses to overpower the reason and incite erotic.
Incite what?
Erotic.
No, incite affection.
Erotic.
No, hugs and kisses through family members.
Erotic.
He used it to incite erotic, read on,
feelings in any mortal or god, per Aphrodite or his own wish.
So his bow and arrow, wait a minute, because we didn't read this when I was in kindergarten. They showed us this. They had us getting together. Make sure you bring some, you got to bring a red, cardboard paper and whatever it's called, tag and all of this. And we're gonna draw the little hearts and we're gonna cut them out, and then we're gonna make little booklets and hand them to each other. All of this. Ain't nobody told me that I was worshiping the god of sex.
Right.
At 5 years old.
Right.
How many parents you think allow their little kids to have a Valentine this year? Yeah,
85%.
right. How many when the little kids said, "Oh, we have a Valentine's Day thing. I want to bring balloons," and they went out to Walmart, or they went out to whatever store you want to go to, and they bought some balloons with the heart shape, which is really somebody's, backside. Yeah.
Not only that, my daughter's daycare, I went to pick up my granddaughter, and my daughter had some cupcakes. They had a Valentine's Day, and these are kids from 1 year old to 7. And they had a Valentine's Day party. My daughter brought cupcake, and when I got there, they had all kind of stuff, candy and all kind of stuff for the kids. And some of these, my grandbaby's only 15 months.
And let me tell you something. The spirit of these things is real. When somebody tells you, you say you're not supposed to celebrate that. The Bible is against Valentine's Day. The Bible is against Christmas. Right. The Bible is against Thanksgiving. The Bible is against, give me some more. What else we got? The Bible is against President's Day. The Bible is against, what's got? Birthdays. Most High in Christ. The Bible is against birthdays. The Bible is against Easter. All those things. Right. You say that, what's the first thing they're going to tell you?
It's for the kids.
It's for the kids.
Right.
It's for the kids. We're not really celebrating that. You're not really celebrating. Ain't nobody thinking about that but you.
Exactly.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't know about y'all brothers, sisters, but have y'all ever been in a kindergarten or first grade class? I know that when I was in kindergarten and first grade, that spirit of Valentine's Day was on them kids heavy.
Strong.
I've seen little kids do unspeakable things, and you be like, how do a kid think to even do that? But they damn sure did. Little kids doing all kinds of, what's the word? Lascivious things. Lascivious things. I got a story. I'm gonna tell you a story after class. I can't say it on the camera. Let me just say this nice and clear. Officer Dawan was not involved. I had nothing to do with it. But I remember a vivid memory of me in kindergarten. And kids saying things like, man, what's going on? Like, no sweat. You know what I mean? But that spirit of Valentine's Day, that spirit of sex is in Valentine's Day. And then you go and give your mother a Valentine's Day present.
Good night.
Your mother, man. But you never, no one told us this, right?
No.
We didn't know. We just woke up in a world that said, oh, yeah, we give your mother a Valentine's Day card. You know what I'm saying? We got a birthday present. Nobody told you that when you give your mother a birthday present, you know what you're saying? That you worship her. Nobody told you that when you give her a Valentine's Day present, what you're really implying is that you want to have sex with her.
Right.
Nobody told you that. You understand? Keep reading up.
Once, though, he accidentally scraped himself with an arrow, and that's how he fell in love with Isupk. Who, now that is incredible.
Right?
Who will later become his wife.
So that little baby got a wife. The little naked Cupid baby with the wings got a wife.
Look at the name of the wife.
Psyche. Brother, read on.
This is unbelievable. I mean, like the more I hit, anyway. Okay, who will later become his wife for eternity? Parentage. There are numerous different versions of Eros, parentage. And it seems that even ancient Greek authors
drop down to where it says, that's talking about who was his original parents. Drop down to where it says Eros as one of the Erotis.
Eros as one of the what?
Erotis. Erotes. The paragraph begins, however, possibly due to the fact.
However, he got to take his own medicine.
No, I think it's higher than that.
A passage, the Greek Eros portrayed as a beautiful youth, finally a version of creation, a famous tradition. However, possible due to the fact that Eros was constantly.
Yep, that's the one. Start from there.
However, possibly due to the fact that Eros was constantly accompanying the goddess of love, later authors reimagined him as one of the many children of Aphrodite and Ares. Connor, wait a minute, ain't Aphrodite a dude?
No.
I thought he said up there that he was it was a dude in the previous passage?
No, I think Aphrodite is a female.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, an Olympian goddess of love, beauty, pleasure, and procreation.
Okay. The many children of Aphrodite and Ares. In this case, there are at least 3 more winged love gods, such as him, all of them his brothers, Anteros, Pothos, and Himeros. Together, they are often referred to as the Erotes.
That's what we kind of read before, where it said that in the Greek and the Roman culture, there's 4 different versions of love. But ironically, the one that we please
No, I said so see the goddess, right? Her husband is Ares, who's god of war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are the kids that she was naming that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Which was 3 different types of, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Different types of love.
It was. Remember, let's not forget something. This we look at this Greek mythology as like a little story or whatever, but this was the religion of the Greeks. The Greeks, the Aphrodite, like the Parthenon. Let me see. Let me see. Is it Aphrodite? One second, Salaki, bear with me. I want to see who this is dedicated to. Where is it? Former to the patron Athena. Okay, no, this is dedicated to Athena. But yeah, this is let's not forget, you know what I'm saying, that this was their religion. In the social mechanism of Greek society, they looked to these figures as literally the source of life. As in literally, so that's why they would say by the gods or Aphrodite. If a cat wanted to get some salaki, you wanted to get some cheeks, you wanted to get down with a female, you know what I'm saying? And he wasn't able to get it, he'd be like, damn, Eros did not show me any favor. I didn't get struck by Eros's arrow. I tried, but Eros did not look down upon me with favor. So yeah, so the temple of Aphrodite at Acrocorinth is a sanctuary dedicated to the goddess Aphrodite. So these are real gods, man. Not real gods, but they're really who these people worship. You understand? So keep reading. And by the way, I know Ares is the god of war because Kratos defeated him and he became the god of war. Y'all done play God of War?
Yeah, man,
I'm about to say, yo, y'all didn't know about God of War. That's the joint. Read on up.
Eros as the son of Zephyrus and Iris. A less famous tradition, which can be traced back to Alcaeus, one of the 9 most famous Greek lyric poets, makes Eros the son of Zephyrus.
Drop down to where it says in Greek art.
In Greek art, Eros was portrayed either as a beautiful youth in the earlier days or as a mischievous boy in Hellenic times and later.
In Hellenic times or later. What the Hellenists, the Hellenic times, we're talking about, that's around the time of what? In our culture, time of the Maccabees. So can you imagine the context, man? This Bible is so real. The context of the fact that while somebody was trying to shove pork down our throats, literally, and boiled and maimed and killed a mother and her 7 sons, they were killing us because we wanted to worship our father, Abanawa, Yahweh, because we would not worship people like Eros, little babies. Little naked baby males. We didn't want to worship that. And for that, we were getting killed. You understand? Read on.
The famous playwright Euripides is the earliest author to describe him as someone with a bow and a quiver full of unavoidable arrows. 2 attributes which have ever since been etched in our collective imagination. What's less known is that Eros' quiver allegedly contained 2 different types of arrows. The first are the more famous love-kindling ones. These were sharp and gold-tipped. However, Eros was also able to use another type of blunt and lead-tipped arrow, which made everyone or anyone shot by them immune to love advances.
Good night.
One time, after Apollo mocked his skills, Eros provided his power, proved his power by shooting the god with a gold-tipped arrow while hitting Daphne, Apollo's love interest, with a lead-tipped one. That way, Apollo ended up pining for the wood nymph, while she remained untouched by his advances.
Keep going. I'm going to get a scripture in a second.
Eros and Psyche. One time, however, Eros got a taste of his own medicine. Aphrodite, envious of the fact that Psyche had hundreds of suitors, ordered Eros to make the mortal girl fall in love with the ugliest creature on the planet. Eros flew down to the earth, accomplished his mission, but instead of shooting Psyche, he accidentally pricked himself with the arrow. The result? For once, Eros was one head over heels in love. So with the help of Zephyrus, the west wind, Eros organized secret meetings with Psyche, loving her night after night in an isolated sacred grove.
Loving her night after night in a what?
In a sacred grove.
In a in a what?
Isolated sacred grove.
So he was loving her night after night. Somebody tell me what that means. They were making love.
That's right.
That's where that comes from. They were making love. Read on.
In the privacy of total darkness.
Because somebody's talking, some fool trying to tell you that, it's not talking about sex. Are you kidding me?
You got to be a fool.
It says literally, he was loving her night after night. How did he love her night after night? How did he keep? How could you love someone night after night if love is just a feeling? Wouldn't it just be continuous? He just kept them like it's just straight. But if he loved her night after night, after night, you know what I'm saying? Salakia. Right. In total darkness. In an isolated sacred grove. Read on.
Psyche's jealous and somewhat curious sister convinced Psyche to find out who her secret lover is. So one night, she lights a candle and discovers Eros' identity.
So basically, he was loving her night after night without her even knowing. Ooh, man, that sounds like something that people be doing today. I can't believe it. I don't understand it. You go out there and you get into bed with somebody that you don't even know enough to know whether or not you even think they're a cool person. Please,
doesn't it imply that he was raping her? She didn't know who it was.
She was. It's right. She was down. She just didn't want to see who it was. Read on.
The god flees, feeling both betrayed and enraged. Psyche, on the other hand, feels heartbroken and inconsolable. So she starts wandering aimlessly and begging the gods to grant her an opportunity to win back the love of Eros. In the end, after performing a series of all but impossible tasks imposed on her by Aphrodite, she wins back both the goddess and Eros' trust.
Read this last part.
Voluptus.
The what?
Voluptus.
Read on.
The goddess of sensual pleasure.
Oh, voluptus. That sounds a lot like what? Voluptuous. Read on.
Will be Voluptus, the goddess of sensual pleasure, will be born out of Eros and Psyche's marriage.
Oh, wait. Good night. So Eros, aka Cupid, is the father of Voluptus. Let me just make it real plain. Cupid is a god of lust. He's a god of lust. He's a god of sexual desire so overt that it's hard to overcome. That's why he's represented as having an arrow. Once he hits you, you can't do anything about it. That's what that represents. That he hits you with his arrow, and you have desire now. Now you can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna use the word that people use, but that's what that represents. You understand? So let me get a scripture real fast, brother. Give me Genesis chapter 24, verse 67. You know what I'm saying? Because these Greek gods of illicit sex. Well, first, if I may, real quick, before you give me that, give me the one in Durham, the gods. No, Exodus 20 and verse 3.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 3, Salakia. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. You shall not have no other power or believe in any other entity before me. You're not supposed to do it. But guess what? Every February 14th, here our people go believing in what? In Cupid, in Eros. You know what I'm saying? Believing in the god of the ancient Greek or the ancient Roman god of desire. You know what I'm saying? Please,
this just gives me, like when I first came in, they were talking about how Christian we were, which is the truth. This gives me another level of understanding the depth of the totality of the Christian invasion into our mindset, man. This shit they've been teaching us this shit since we was little.
Exactly. They've been teaching us this since we was little, and because we didn't know any better, we just what? We just ate it up.
Wow, this is wild.
We ate it up. But look at all these words now. We know where they come from. Arousal, voluptuous, erotic. We didn't know that when we was making little cards at 6 and 7 years old to give to other little kids that had Cupid on it, that we were sending messages about sex. You know what I'm saying? It's wild, man. We never know what you got.
No wonder the people are acting out so
No wonder, right? That's exactly why. Read what's up.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Why? Because you follow after other gods, you're not gonna keep my commandments. I told you how to operate and how to act. I made you to be special. I made you to be holy, be set apart. You understand? But now you're gonna go, you following after Cupid, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna act a fool when February 14th come around. You're gonna have illicit sex. You're gonna have one-night stands. Thanks to things like Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna disrespect, you know what I'm saying, your people. Thanks to things like Memorial Day and President's Day. You know what I'm saying? These are just more ways for you to hate yourself. Give me Genesis chapter 24 and verse 67. You know
the book of Genesis, chapter 24, verse 67.
In the Greek culture, the whole sexual thing was fun and games. Like, oh yeah, well, Cupid's gonna hit you with an arrow, and then you have sex all through the night. They don't even know who you are because you're in the dark. They don't even know your identity. That's how it was in the ancient Greece. But let's see how sex was in our culture. Read that.
And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent.
He did what?
Brought her into his mother Sarah's tent.
No, he brought her to the chapel.
To his mother Sarah's tent.
No, he brought her to the Justice of the Peace.
Into his mother Sarah's tent.
Right, this is talking about who? Who is this talking about? Talking about Isaac, right? Isaac and who?
Rebecca.
Isaac and Rebecca. And this says, read the top.
And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent.
And he brought her into his mother Sarah's tent. What is a tent? Yeah,
A dwelling place.
It's like a makeshift dwelling place. You know what I'm saying? It's quick. It's not like a standard, I'm saying, long-term home or house. It's something that you can put up real quick. It's a tent. And it says that Isaac brought her into his mother. So I can go, read it from the top.
And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent.
Right, so Isaac brought Rebecca into his mother Sarah's tent with her.
And took Rebecca.
And then what?
Took Rebecca.
Oh, you put ring on it.
Took Rebecca.
He set up some vows.
Took Rebecca.
Took Rebecca. Read on.
And she became his wife.
And she did what?
Became his wife.
In that moment, she became what?
His wife.
She became his wife because he went where? In his mother's tent. I don't think she had deacon, you know what I'm saying, deacon such and such in that. I don't know if Pastor, you know what I mean, Pastor Jones was in there. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All I know is it says Isaac brought her into his mother's tent and took Rebecca and she became his wife. What happened in that goddamn tent? They had sex. Sex is marriage according to the Bible. Really?
And she became his wife, and he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
Drop that. Give me Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. Real quick. Barbecue shot. You know what I'm saying? You keep playing around with these fake holidays, man. You keep playing around with a Valentine's Day and all this garbage, man. All of this garbage, which is really about whoredom. It's whoredom. That symbol, where's it at? Slovakia. Where's it at? This crap right here. Do you know that they used to use this symbol to put it? I don't know if you've ever seen, right? You ever seen like an old medieval times type setup where, you know what I mean, you had all the different guilds and things like that. And what they would do is, at this time, the whorehouse was kind of common. The whorehouse was common. So just like you go to the pharmacy, right? And they got that little symbol. I think it's like an R and an X, something like that. Got that? Mm-hmm. Right, prescription symbol. If you go to a lawyer's office, you might see the balance. You know what I'm saying? The lady with the balance. There are different symbols that are used to represent certain professions. Well, I'm here to tell you, Salakia, the worship bubble, but this symbol right here doesn't represent how much you love mommy dearest. This symbol right here doesn't represent how much you love, you know what I'm saying, your good friends and how affectionate you are. This symbol, in actuality, represents what? Whoredom. Whoredom. It represents illicit, nasty sex that you pay for. You understand? Because this symbol is a woman's anatomy. And we just read that when Cupid shoots his arrow, what is he actually doing? He's actually putting sexual desire in somebody. So the arrow pierces the symbol. What's that mean? That means that you was able to accomplish your goal. That's exactly what that means. You understand? You got to read that, brother?
The book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed.
If a man entices a maid that is not betrothed, she does not have a husband, she is not promised to anybody, she's single, you know.
And lie with her.
And she's a maid, okay, read on.
He shall surely endow her.
And do what? And lie with what?
He shall surely.
Read back from where it says, and lie with her?
And lie with her.
So he entices a maid. What do you mean to entice?
To seduce.
To seduce. And he spit that game, man. You know what I'm saying? He rolled up on it, you know what I'm saying? He started spitting the isms in the air, man. And he got her open. The next thing you know, she with the program. That's what it is. He enticed a man who's not betrothed. She doesn't have a man. Read from where it says betrothed.
And lie with her. He shall surely endow her to be his wife.
Salakia. Slovakia. Read that from the top up.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 16.
Yeah, man, this is the real meaning of sex in the Bible. This is the real thing. You understand? This ain't, you know what I mean? This ain't that damn Roman Catholic Greek garbage shooting arrows and, you know what I mean? This ain't that. That's not our culture. Read it.
And if a man entice a
He
maid,
enticed a maid. He started talking, and she liked how he talked. You know?
that is not betrothed,
She don't got a man. She is single. She is not betrothed or promised to anybody. Read.
and lie with her,
No, he took her. He got a diamond ring.
and lie with her,
No, he took her to the church to see Pastor Jenkins.
and lie with her,
And lied with her. He got in the bed and they had sex. Read on.
he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
No, his baby mama.
His wife.
No, she just his girlfriend.
His wife.
No, sex don't matter.
His wife.
If you have sex with somebody, you're married. End of discussion. You understand? So let's put the Greek and Roman mythology away, because as you see, it has no place in our culture. It really no bearing on anything we do. You understand? So we just gonna leave that alone, and we're gonna keep following after our customs. You know what I'm saying? Because what is it for? Mischievous new boys, something to do with it. You understand? So I think we should just leave that alone. All right. So now we're gonna drop that. Shalom, shalom. We're gonna drop that. We're gonna get into this President's Day early. It worked out so well because Officer One was able to go to the ABC store with no problems. That's always a beautiful thing. You understand? But nonetheless, this day represents what? I mean, we in America, right? So we're supposed to love our president. They're the founding fathers, right? That's what they tell us. Founding fathers, they built this great nation. That's what they say. And today, many of our people are going to go out there and they're going to celebrate somehow, some way. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of cold on, they're going to barbecue, but they're going to go to a restaurant because they had the day off. Some way to turn this into a cause for celebration. You understand? But let me tell you something. If there's anything that a black man or Hispanic man or Indian man in America should not be celebrating, it's any holiday that has anything to do with the U.S. government. I don't care if it's the president or the senator. Not one has ever done anything for black people. None. You understand? So we're gonna get into that too. I'm about to send you some articles on that as well. First, let me get my little. Get me give me a scripture. Give me Durham chapter 17 and verse 13. We're gonna come back to it, but this is gonna lead up into this whole president thing. Let's get into scriptures real fast. You know what I'm saying? And see why these disgusting American holidays are just a spit in the face for black people. You know what I mean? Let me know when you got it, brother.
Got it.
Go ahead and read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 13.
Man, because I mean, matter of fact, we just did a class what? I see another thing on Facebook, man. I showed up. If you don't vote, then you are the problem. If you don't vote, you're the reason why our condition is how it is. If you don't vote, we ain't never gonna make it. We're never gonna get nowhere. But then I brought out the statistics that show that black people vote. What is the percentage by which black people vote? Oh, it's like young man. Not 95. It's not. If you're close. Over 80% of black people actually vote. You understand? And the statistics show that we actually vote in one election more than white people. That's how Obama got elected. Obama got elected because black people just went to the polls in droves. So they say voting is a problem, but I don't think that could be the case because we damn sure we in there. We in there voting, but it hasn't changed anything. You understand? Somebody read my mind. Why has us voting in America's government not changed anything for blacks, Hispanics, and Americans? Why is that? What are we doing wrong? We vote for the wrong person. Maybe if we vote for Bernie, it'll change. Please,
the system is not set up for change in the positive for us.
Right.
The system is not set up for that. The system is set up to support white agenda, white supremacy agenda.
Most incorrect. Give him a hand. Because at the end of the day, this is what it is. The fact of the matter is the U.S. government has nothing to do with you. Nothing. It's no secret. You know what I'm saying? You go back and look in that Constitution where you were considered 3/5 of a human being. That's actually there. This is not something we made up. It's there. It's written by the founding fathers. You understand? This has nothing to do with you. And what the Bible proves to you has nothing to do with you. Go ahead and read that verse out.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 13. And all the people shall hear and fear and do no more presumptuously.
No, 17, verse 15.
Salakia.
It's what?
Verse 15.
Right, because they say that if you don't vote, then guess what? You're not going to make it. We got to vote for it so we can get some change. Wasn't that Obama's whole thing? Hope, change.
Change is coming.
Right. Read that.
Thou shalt in any wise.
Thou shalt in any wise. This is how you do it. Read.
Set him king over thee.
Okay, you're going to set somebody king over you, but let's see who it's going to be. Read on.
Whom the Lord thy power shall choose.
No, who the electoral college chooses.
The Lord thy power shall choose.
No, who the popular vote chooses.
The Lord thy power shall choose.
Whoever's going to be king over us is not going to be somebody that we choose. It's going to be somebody the Most High chose. And the Most High chose who? Yahweh Mashiach. That's our king. I don't give a goddamn about who's elected president, vice grips, senator, whatever it is. I don't care about none of that. Because the Bible tells us that we're supposed to do what?
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
The king is going to be over us, read.
Whom the Lord thy power shall choose.
The Most High is going to tell us who's king over us, read on.
One from among the brethren.
One from among who?
The brethren.
Read.
Shalt thou
Your brethren, wait a minute. I don't understand what you mean. My brothers, everybody. You know?
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee. A stranger over thee.
Barack Obama.
A stranger over thee.
Donald Trump.
A stranger over thee.
You know?
Which is not thy brother.
The Bible says we can't even put someone over us who's not an Israelite. So what the hell does voting have to do with anything for us, man? Nothing. We are not even allowed to participate in these elections because we're not supposed to read them from the top.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy power shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou wilt not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
Right. So you can't set a stranger over you who's not your brother. You can't set a stranger over you to rule over you who is from another nation. You understand? Our nation has to be intact. You understand? We cannot go out and just choose whoever we want and go vote your primary, you know what I'm saying, your local elections or whatever. I don't know what the heck they voting for now. I never voted a day in my life. But, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing to do with this. So now, Baruch Hushar. Yana, I'm about to send you this article. So you can go ahead and read from that. Slovakia. There we go. Paste. I just sent it, so it should be popping. Everybody's calm though? Most high praise. Mario, we got any waters?
Yeah, we got water. I brought water yesterday.
Oh, most high praise.
Friday.
Okay. I'm about to say yesterday. You was in here something?
I mean Friday.
No, sir. Most high praise. You get the article?
President's Day 2020.
Yep. Should be on history.com. Go ahead and start reading that when you get it out.
This history stuff is acting up. We'll try it again another way.
You got it?
I got it, but it's not. It's going as a history channel when I put it. I don't know why. Let me try it.
I think we might have had this problem before.
Yeah.
Because that history.
Turn off the Wi-Fi or something, maybe. We did have this problem before.
Well, I might just have to read it. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. I'm gonna send you something else. I'm gonna send you something else, and I'll read this one.
Okay, kind of.
You know what I'm saying? Bear with me. Just make sure I send this to the brother. So I definitely want you to read it. Matter of fact, I got it right here. I don't know. This the one. AL.com. Let's see if it'll pop up here. Okay. This is Alabama. What? Let me see. No, that's all good. I'm just start reading this article, all right?
Kind of one.
So this is historychannel.com. It says President's Day 2020. So this is a little history on where President's Day comes from. Hold up, Salakia. Y'all in school, right? Y'all go to school today? Y'all in school today?
No.
Hold on, wait a minute. Oh, y'all didn't have school. But y'all did have school. Why? Wish I go to like a special school or something? Oh, also. The water. But y'all didn't have school at all. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. It's one of them funny days where like some people got school, some people don't. ABC liquor stores open. I can't explain it. President's Day is a federal holiday celebrated on the third Monday in February. President's Day 2020 occurs on Monday, February 17th. Originally established in 1885 in recognition of President George Washington, the holiday became popularly known as President's Day after it was moved as part of 1971's Uniform Monday Holiday Act, an attempt to create more three-day weekends for the nation's workers. While several states still have individual holidays honoring the birthdays of Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and other figures, President's Day is now popularly viewed as a day to celebrate all U.S. presidents, past and present. So the thing is this. I think Abe Lincoln's birthday is in February. George Washington's birthday is in February. And so they decided, well, we got a bunch of presidents' birthdays in February. They're well known. Let's just put it in February. We'll put this holiday there, and we'll use it as an excuse so workers can get an extra day off, and so we can celebrate all the U.S. presidents at one time. So that's like the origin of President's Day. Okay? Since the story of President's Day date begins in 1800, following the death of George Washington in 1799, his February 22nd birthday became a perennial day of remembrance. At the time, Washington was venerated as the most important figure in American history, and events like the 1832 centennial of his birthday and the start of construction of the Washington Monument in 1848 were cause for national celebration. That's talking about the construction of the Washington Monument, which is where?
Yeah, raise your hand, brother.
Select. In Washington, D.C.
In Washington, D.C. That is correct. Salakia. Who's ever been to Washington, D.C.? Been to Washington, D.C.? What is interesting about Washington, D.C.? Like, it's an interesting place. You know what I'm saying? Amongst other things, what is interesting about Washington, D.C. as it relates to today? Yeah,
they have a lot of monuments and statues commemorating presidents and famous, people in American history.
Oh, really? So that's where the Washington Monument is. And which one is correct me if I'm wrong, because this flew in my head. I know the Jefferson Monument has the dome, right? That's called Monticello. Then you have the Lincoln Memorial, where it's actually Lincoln sitting in the thing, right? Which actually looks like the Parthenon. The Washington Monument is the tall obelisk, am I correct? Standing straight up. We know that it represents correct. Do I have to say it out loud in front of these children? Please don't make me do it. We good, right? We know what that represents, right? Most High in Christ. So now, you go, oh, matter of fact, isn't Washington, D.C. named after him? You got the Washington Monument. You got Washington, D.C. We got Washington in, over there on the West Coast, Washington State. So he, like I said, and even the article said that he's venerated. He's a war hero. You know what I'm saying? This man was in the Revolutionary War. What you got, sis?
What is the DC stand for?
District of Columbia. Yeah, it's not a state, it's not a city, it is a district, right? So, which is some more hypocrisy because people in the District of Columbia, their voting rights are all messed up because it's not a state. They don't have representation. It's weird. We'll save that for another day, but yeah, it stands for District of Columbia. It's the district, it's not a state, it's not a city, it's not a town. Who knows what it is? But George Washington, right? This famous figure, we all know his name. He's the first president of the United States, right? Well, let's get some more. This whole President's Day thing started with him. He's the reason why we celebrate. And it says Washington and slavery. Who knew? This is the person we're supposed to honor, right? It's the man we're supposed to honor and love and cherish. He's on the, what is he on? $1 bill? He's on the $1 bill. You know what I mean? We just spend them Washingtons every day, put them on the counter. It's normal to us. But let's see what we didn't know about this man. It says, so they try to give him some leeway, but we're going to read through it. Despite having slaveholder for 56 years. Despite having been an active slaveholder for 56 years, George Washington struggled with the institution of slavery and spoke frequently of his desire to end the. You see how they do that? They always do that. They always find some nigga who had mad slaves and be like, he didn't really like slavery. Please, Mario. Right. Somebody get it. You know how they do it, brother. Somebody get that. Smoother than butter. I mean, damn. You know why? Because guess what? Because if you tell me that this man was a slave owner, I might have a problem with spending them $1 bills. I might have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? It might be a little funny, you know what I mean, thinking about how much he's venerated and appreciated in American society, despite the fact that it says that he was an active, not passive. He didn't kind of have slaves. You know what I'm saying? He didn't oh yeah, I got a slave. I got one, I got two. Because guess what? Not everybody owned a plantation. Please, Psalms 55 and 21. Yeah, I'm sorry, if you can get that. Psalm 55 and 21. Not every slave owner had a plantation where he owned hundreds of slaves. That's not how it worked. It's no different than you might have somebody, you have your IBMs and your Bank of Americas and your what else? You some big corporations, your McDonald's. You got your big corporations that have hundreds, thousands of employees. But then you got your mom and pop printing shop, your mom and pop clothing store, and things like that, where it's not a lot of people and they have a couple of employees. Well, guess what? Slavery was no different. And sometimes in New York, like if you watch the movie 12 Years a Slave, at one point Solomon Northup goes into the store and there's a slave that sees him. And he's they don't say it explicitly, but it would seem he's with his master and there's just one of him. I don't know if there's more, but sometimes you can have one slave. And that slave would just they'd be everything. The dishwasher, the housekeeper. I mean, because in New York and in the northern states, right, they didn't have cotton fields or sugarcane fields. So slaves in the north didn't work in fields, just like slaves in the north now don't work in fields. They work at the bank. You know what I'm saying? They work at, you know what I'm saying, whatever grocery store or clothing store. The slaves in the south, they might work at like the Pepsi Cola factory or the Coca-Cola factory or the meat, you know what I'm saying, dispensary or whatever the hell it is. You understand? But George Washington was an active slaveholder. You got that scripture out?
Kind of one.
Please read it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth.
The words of what?
His mouth.
The words of his mouth. He's talking to you, and the words of his mouth, you know,
were smoother than butter.
Ooh.
But war was in his heart.
It says like Salak. I gotta back up. This is the words of his mouth was smoother than butter. Salakia. Have y'all ever, I mean, this is for the sisters. Y'all ever hear a brother talk and he's just, I'm gonna ask you, because I'm sure y'all have, don't tell me you have. Have you ever heard a brother talk and it just seemed like, damn, like this cat is just, he's just mad smooth. Like it seems like whatever he say, he just say the right thing. Like he can't do nothing that comes out of his mouth even make you think for a second, like, maybe I shouldn't trust this cat. He start talking, he'd be like, I'm gonna be protected for the rest of my life. Forever and ever, I am good. I have no worries again is going to harm me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, because this brother is just magnificent. You understand? That's how it is. I mean, no sense, but that's how it is. We read before the scripture about marriage, right? And it said, if a man do what? If he entice a maid. How do you entice a maid? You start talking like goddamn the Mac. That's how you do it. You start talking like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You start doing that, and they be like, oh, damn, like, all right. So guess what? We get gamed the same way. And a genuine brother is going to use that game for good. He's not going to use that to manipulate and destroy. He's going to use that as a means, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He like a sister. He gonna talk to the sister. He knows, because guess what? You're not gonna just go to him and just say like the facts. Hey, how you doing? You're beautiful. I like you. But that will not work. That's crazy. Sisters don't please sis. What you got?
Everybody is not that bad. It might work on some people.
No, it ain't. It ain't. No, it's not. Let's be real. Let's be real. You're not about to just walk to a sister and tell her the facts. You know what I'm saying? She don't want the coffee. She want a little bit of embellishment. She want a little bit of, you know what I mean? You gotta have some flair to your game, man. You gotta have, that's why we call it game. That's why we call it that. Because you can't just say this. Am I telling lies here? Sisters don't work like brothers. You know what I'm saying? Brothers is just like who, what, when, where, how. That's it. I don't want to know nothing else. How did it happen? When did it happen? Who did it happen to? Sisters is like, well, when it happened, I was kind of feeling this way. And when I was feeling this, it made me think of this. It took me back to when I was 6 years old. When I was 6 years old, you know, I had a hard time. It's a whole cloud of reality going on. So it's not the same. So we know that. So we're like, okay, we got to do a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? We got to put on a little bit, please.
It's like when you okay, say if it is how they say it,
right?
And you walk up to them, you be like, "Yo, you got a man? No, let me get your number. I gotta go." You know what I mean? Right. She's like, "No, you're not gonna get my number."
Right.
But you gotta say random stuff like.
Exactly.
What you doing today?
See, they saying it, but they know the deal. They know the deal. If a brother tries that, they gonna say what? This nigga didn't even try. He didn't even give it an attempt. What you got?
It depends on So
look,
you can say everybody's like it
So
because
Drake
it has
is
to be. It's like, no,
Drake.
you don't even want
What are these rappers?
I said,
Right.
first of all, we don't like
No sweat. No sweat.
my thing is,
Uh-huh.
all females is not complicated. You know what I'm saying? Like, if,
Nobody
okay,
said that.
if you like her and she likes you bad, you could get her number without having to do anything.
Wait, wait. Oh, that's the point, though. We're talking about that's why the scripture says entice a maid. He may not be familiar with her, know her well enough to be able to pick up, because you got to pick up on the vibes and all of that. He may not have had a chance to do that. He might have just seen it for the first time and be like, I want that one.
Right.
He cannot just be like, hey, I want you. Number now. Phone. Enter. She gonna look at him like he's crazy. So, like me and my brother, we was watching the other day, we watching that movie, man. Hitch. You gotta have a game plan. You gotta think it out. Okay. So the sisters, what she wearing? Okay, so we think about calculating. She probably, you know what I'm saying? She probably just got off work, but she probably don't want to talk to me that long. I gotta be real quick. You gotta come with, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of a game plan. You know what I mean? But that's why the scripture says in me. You know what I'm saying? You gotta talk. But that's what makes this other scripture so diabolical, man.
Right.
Cause we talk to a sister like that, not because we hate her, because we like her. Like, okay, like, I mean, we figure out how to go about this. Let me make sure I say the right thing. Because if I want to start talking, I'm going to start talking about all kinds of craziness. I'm going to be like, you know, cartoons and Dragon Ball Z and blah, blah, blah. Like, and she's going to be tuned out. Right. So now I got to start thinking, like, okay, logically, what's the best way? She probably doesn't want to hear about Dragon Ball Z. Let me talk, you know what I mean? You got to have a game plan. Well, we're using it to that end. But our oppressor uses those same tactics, those smooth words to get you off guard, because that's what you do it for. Right. Because the sister that sat in the bar and 800 niggas try to talk to her. And so you're thinking, what? All right, how do I be different? How do I be different but not corny? What's the way I go? You know what I'm saying? You got to do that because they can, dudes talking to them all day, every day. Right. They can offer all kinds of loving 30 times a day. So you got to come different, right? So they knew, listen, let me guess what? It's like buttery smooth words is how I get them off guard. You know what I'm saying? The same way you try to get a sister in bed or you try to get a sister to be with you is the same way they was trying to get you to be what? A better slave.
That's right.
Read it from the top.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21.
Disgusting. Read it.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The words of his mouth was like a brother trying to get something. He was talking to us like a brother talks to a sister that he's trying to entice. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. Every brother ain't coming correct. Not everyone. Sometimes a brother, he know what he wants, and he's playing on her insecurities. Or he's playing on her fears, or he's playing on her the things that she doesn't know. She might be a little bit green, and he's like, well, guess what? I can tell by how she do this. She's not familiar. She's not from around here. Okay, I'm going to go talk to her. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say that. By the end of the night, I'm going to have her wrapped around my finger. And I have no interest in her, really. I don't really like her. I don't know her. I just think she looked good. I'm trying to do what I do and going about my business. Some brothers, unfortunately, have been taught to maneuver that way. You understand? But we read it in the Bible that it's not something we created. It's not something we created. It's something that has been happening to us collectively as a people. Read from the top one more time.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The words of our oppressor's mouth were smoother than butter. So smooth that he says in those articles, Washington struggled with the institution of slavery and spoke frequently of his desire to end the practice, despite having been like a slaveholder for 66 years.
Right.
Read on.
But war was in his heart.
Despite having been an active slaveholder for 56 years. Read it again.
But war was in his heart.
His word was smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. George Washington was a warmongering, killing machine. He was a goddamn soldier. And you tell me he struggled with the institution. slavery. This man is the war veteran hero of America.
Right.
Isn't he the one? So like, I don't know if you told me the story. I heard it before. Something about he had some soldiers and they were because it was cold or something like that. Wasn't him?
Yeah, the Valley Forge was the place.
Where he broke the bridge?
Yeah.
It was Washington?
Yeah, it was
Mother, it was goddamn George Washington.
Right.
The story is good, correct me if I'm wrong, fill in the gaps, right? But what I remember, the story is something to the effect of it was real, they felt during the winter, and the conditions were harsh. There's no food, there's no water, and it's just harsh to them. They're not liking it. They're waiting. It's like they're waiting for the enemy. So they're like, yo, there's a bridge right there that takes them back to where they started from. So they're like, you know what? Let's just go back. Let's take the bridge and leave. If I'm not mistaken, it was George Washington who saw that they kept talking about this bridge, that we need to go back. And he said, you know what? No sweat. And while they slept, he set the goddamn bridge on fire. He burned the bridge down, so now they had to fight. They couldn't go back. Now again, I don't know if it's George Washington. I believe it is. If it's not, no sweat. But that mentality, George Washington was a war veteran. A war veteran. This man was killing other white people. But you want me to believe that he struggled with the institution of slavery? Good night. Let me be wrong, but Tip, you got more on that?
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn words.
His words were softer than oil, man. His words were softer than oil. You know, you hit up Captain Tazar for them oils, man. And body butters. You're going to be soft with a capital T. Soft. Soft.
Right.
The skin is going to be like goodness. Like, it's like rediscovering something. Damn, like, I didn't even know it could be like this. You understand? His word was softer than oil. You know?
Yet were they drawn words.
No, read it again.
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn sword.
Yet were they drawn sword. I don't know if y'all can see this image. Y'all can't see because my laptop's not turned right. George Washington, man, he was again a war veteran. You know what I'm saying? He was a very well-versed. He was the leader of the rebel army. You know what I'm saying? That's how he became the president of the United States. So when it says that he, you know, we'll get some more real quick. And it says that he struggled. I'm not buying it. Let's go on. At the end of his life, Washington made the decision to free all the slaves in his 1799 will. The only slave holding founding father to do so. Okay, no sweat. He had a heart. He decided to let some slaves go. But let's see 10 facts about Washington and slavery. George Washington, the person who is why this day, President's Day, exists, is based on his birthday. Fact number 1. George Washington first became a slave owner at the early age of 11. Only 11. He had slaves at 11. When I was 11, I was just trying to get my mom to buy me an Xbox. Just to not, like, please, like, just an Xbox and a couple games, you know what I mean? He owned whole niggas at the age of 11. When Washington's father, Augustine, died in 1743, George Washington became a slave owner at the early age of 11. Listen to this. In his will, Augustine left his son the 280-acre family farm near Fredericksburg, Virginia. 280 acres? Damn, I thought they got like the whole state of Virginia. How much is an acre? Who knows how much an acre is? Somebody here knows an acre. Most price. Let's see. An acre, a unit of land equal to 4,840 square yards. Brother, sisters, a unit of land equal to 4,840 square yards of land. Can somebody tell me how large a football field is? Please.
It's 100 yards.
A football field is how much?
100 yards.
100 yards. Okay, so 100 square yards would be bigger, right?
Yeah.
An acre is 4,840 square yards. We're talking about something to be, again, if I'm wrong, somebody correct me, it's no sweat. But if I'm not mistaken, we're talking about something in the vicinity of thousands of football fields. No, more like, excuse me, hundreds. Hundreds of football fields.
1 acre is like 2 blocks.
1 acre is like 2 blocks.
2 square blocks.
2 square blocks.
One.
Good night. And it says that George Washington inherited 280 acres in Fredericksburg, Virginia. In addition, Washington was willed 10 slaves. As a young adult, Washington purchased at least 8 more slaves, including a carpenter named Kit. Washington purchased more enslaved people in 1755, including 4 men, 2 women, and a child. So 10, 8, 4, 22, 24. So this man owned about 25 slaves. You know what I'm saying? That's not the end of it, that's at the beginning. It's early in his life. Owned 25 slaves. You understand? And this is the man that we're supposed to celebrate today. This is one of the men who we're supposed to look at with reverence and say he's so great, and we're supposed to be patriotic. Like my brother Officer Abraham said, man, to hell with America, man. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 57. Give me that, right? Because these rules, we read the other scripture, Deuteronomy 17 and 15, that says we're supposed to, our leader is not who we choose, it's who the Most High chooses. And whoever that leader is has to be what? He has to be our brother. He has to be of our nation. He has to be. He has to be an Israelite. You cannot have a ruler over you who's a goddamn Hamite, Barack, or Edomite, George, Donald. You understand? You damn sure can't have a leader. I don't think you want a leader who's a Moabite right now. I don't think you want that. Please.
So like, yeah, it was 2nd Ezra what?
Chapter 6 and verse 57. Right, in the Apocrypha, which is the Bible, right? But that's the section. For argument's sake, just jump to 54 and read the whole thing straight through.
Verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
Right, so we all come from Adam and the people whom thou hast chosen. Yeah, he chose the Israelites. He chose blacks, Hispanics, and Indians. But we all come from Adam, you know?
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Right, read.
56. As for the other people.
As for who?
The other people.
As for the other people who are not God's chosen people, the Israelites, read on.
Which also come of Adam.
They also come of Adam, but that don't goddamn matter to the Most High.
Right.
You don't give a damn they came from Adam. You don't give a damn we share the same blood. You don't care. Read on.
Thou hast said that they are
The
nothing.
Most High said they're what?
They are nothing.
They're nothing. They don't mean anything to him. Read.
But like unto spittle.
They're like unto spittle. You know what I'm saying? They're like unto that, you know what I'm saying, that spit that flies off your mouth when you get real passionate and talking about something, and spit flies, and it just lands somewhere, and you're like, what the hell? Damn, I'm sorry I spit on you. It's like that's what it is. Read.
And has likened the abundance of them.
Liken the abundance, all of them, liken the majority. The abundance just means the large numbers of, so all of them, read.
Unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Unto a what?
A drop that falleth from a vessel.
Unto a drop that falleth from a vessel, a big vessel, a big bucket full of water, and a drop is, that's a drop. Don't nobody give a damn about no drop. Most High don't give a damn about that drop. That's why he likened them to that. The abundance of them, all the other nations, all the heathens are like a drop of water to him. Read on.
verse 57.
This what I want.
And now,
So after all that, after all of these nations, all these heathens that don't mean anything, that the Most High don't give a damn about, after all of that, let's see if we're supposed to be happy about electing one of them as our president.
and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen.
These what?
These heathen.
Our friends.
Heathen.
Our brothers.
Heathen.
Our presidents.
Heathen.
These heathen, Lord.
Which have ever been reputed as nothing.
These heathens that have always been nothing to you, they've always meant absolutely zero to you. They've always been reputed, their reputation, you know what I'm saying? How people look at them is as nothing. They mean nothing to you. You don't give a damn about them. You don't give a damn about them. You know?
Have begun to be lords over
Have
us.
begun to be what?
Lords over us.
So wait a minute. So he's complaining about them being over us. Why isn't he happy? Why isn't he saying, well, we had an election last week, oh Lord, and I voted for Bernie Sanders. I voted for Hillary Rodham Clinton. You know what I mean? I voted for such and such. Why is he saying what he's saying? Read that last part again.
Who have ever been reputed as nothing.
These people who mean nothing, they're ever reputed as nothing,
have begun to be lords over us.
now they're lords over us. Wait a minute, you're taking it too far now. This is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. Not only they've always been reputed as nothing, but now they're over us. Now they're our presidents, our senators, governors, mayors. Read on.
And to devour us.
Oh, our president does what?
Devour us.
The mayor does what?
Devour
The
us.
governor does what?
Devour us.
The United States government doesn't give a damn about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and they never did. When another nation is over you, they devour you. They destroy you. Barack Obama had you thinking, because he had a little bit of melanin in his skin, that he was one of you. Meanwhile, what? Matter of fact, Salakia, heard what you got. I'm gonna read another article. I mean, I'm gonna bring it out, if I may. Bear with me. There's a website, right? A pretty popular website called Snopes. Now, sometimes they got some garbage up there because, you know what I mean, they got to placate to certain people, right? But this is a website where they'll take basically like a myth or an idea, and they'll try to come to prove whether or not it's true or not. Who's ever, you know those cages that are people, the Isupk, men, women, and children. You know those cages that they're in down at the border right now, right? You're all familiar with that? Has anybody ever heard the rumor that it actually wasn't Donald Trump that put them there? That it was actually Obama? Has anybody ever heard that? Please.
I heard that the actual legislation that led to it came up during the Obama administration, and Trump actually put it into action. I heard that.
Okay, well, we're gonna get some materials on it and read it, if I may, because we got to talk about George Washington. President's Day is supposed to celebrate all presidents. That's what it's supposed to do. Real quick, before I get to this, real quick, I mean, shoot, we celebrating President's Day. I'm saying blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. Meanwhile, I got an article right here that says President's Day 2020 inspirational quotes from every U.S. president. Ooh-wee. Inspirational quotes. George Washington said, associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. It's an inspirational quote. Man, George Washington is also the one who, number 2 on this list of his top 10 things involving slavery, at the time of George Washington's death, the Mount Vernon enslaved population consisted of 317. Of the 317 enslaved people living at Mount Vernon in 1799, a little less than half, 123 individuals, were owned by George Washington himself. And you're gonna put President's Day in front of us? This is not an insult. America loves black people. Racism is dead. Okay, no sweat. No problem. Let's jump back. Before I'm gonna get to Obama in just a second. Right? George Washington. What did he say again? Associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation. But it is better to be alone than in bad company. Again, we read before where it says they honor and venerate this man. He is the centerpiece of President's Day. Number 3, George Washington's marriage to Martha Custis significantly increased the number of enslaved people at Mount Vernon. After marrying Martha Dandridge Custis in January of 1759, George Washington's slave holdings increased dramatically. That goes, I think the white woman is some pillar of moral, you understand? But George Washington got more slaves because he a white woman, right? As the widow of a wealthy planter who died without a will, to Mount Vernon. When George Washington took control of the Mount Vernon property in 1754, the population of Fairfax County was around 6,500. A little more than 1,800, or about 28%, were slaves of African origin. We know that's what they say, but we're not African. The proportion of slaves in the population as a whole rose throughout the century. By the end of the American Revolution, over 40% of the people living in Fairfax County were slaves. This is what George Washington did. This is his legacy. You understand? Slovakia. Let me jump back to this other joint. So now, let's get another nice quote. Who's ever heard of Andrew Jackson? You heard of Andrew Jackson? Y'all familiar with who's Andrew Jackson? Please, huh?
He was the second president, right?
Nope. But you can be not far. George Washington was the first to be. You gonna shut down the chair with you. President number 2 will be John Adams. The number 3, Thomas Jefferson. I'm saying, so it's Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Quincy Adams. Andrew Jackson was like, I think 7th. So you're not far off. Right? He's like the 7th president.
Right, like 1830.
Yeah. Right. A little before that, I'm saying it was probably late. No, you're probably right, 1820s.
He was the president during the Trail of Tears.
Not only was he the president, he was the cause of the Trail of Tears fastest.
Which bill he on? Is it Jackson? Is he on you?
Yes. Andrew Jackson is on the 20 holder, Most High in Christ, the one says. Andrew, don't show that. Yeah, that's Andrew Jackson. You spin those every single day. Andrew Jackson. Well, here's a beautiful quote from Andrew Jackson. Right, this is what they say in the inspirational quotes. Andrew Jackson said, "Any man worth his salt will stick up for what he believes right. But it takes a slightly better man to acknowledge instantly and without reservation that he is in error." Woo! Doesn't that sound so honest? Let's read another quote from Andrew Jackson. This is in an article called Indian Country Today, where it says, "Nice day for a genocide. Shocking quotes on his 5th annual message." This is Andrew Jackson, the same one who just said, "Oh, you got to know when you're wrong. It's nice to know when you're right, but you also got to know when you're wrong." Andrew Jackson said this about the Native Indians: "They have neither the intelligence, the industry, the moral habits, nor the desire of improvement which are essential to any favorable change in their condition. Established in the midst of another and a superior race, and without appreciating the causes of their inferiority or seeking to control them, they must necessarily yield to the force of circumstance and ere long disappear." This is Andrew Jackson.
That's genocide.
Sounds genocide, right?
That's right.
Sound like they're not intelligent enough for them to understand that we're superior. So they're gonna have to just disappear. They're gonna just have to go away. That's how he viewed the Native Indians. You understand? And he's still that $20 bill. You can spend that right now, right?
Okay.
It still works.
Yes.
No, I think they probably banned it because he's such a horrible person. Damn. But no, I mean, but President's Day, they don't celebrate Andrew Jackson. Right? I mean, I don't think so.
Yes.
Even though I'm pretty sure we just read earlier that it was a means to celebrate all presidents. You know? It's Obama joint, right? Obama, that's our favorite person. Black people on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and every other platform today, they still praise this man. Still. I saw an interview not so long ago with Paul James, the cat, the gay cat, Don Lemon was asking him, "Oh, would you sit down with President Trump?" And he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that." But then he's like, "I'll sit down with Obama." Interview had nothing to do with Obama, but he brought him up. No, sir, no problem. So what you got, sis?
I'm saying, like, they wait till the so-called president get in office to go ahead and legalize gay marriage. Like, I don't understand.
I mean, that's just how it works. The whole thing was a ploy. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing was just a mechanism. Yeah,
They posted that Marvel is going to make the first gay superhero, and he's a black man. So, as along with what she's saying is the black people are above all other people.
right. Because what's interesting about that, they're saying the first gay superhero, but he's not the first gay superhero. Because Marvel Comics already has a gay superhero. They've had him for some time. I forgot his name. But I remember reading the comic when I was like 14.
But he's going to be the first one in the movie.
Exactly. He's going to be the first one on the screen. Because everybody doesn't goddamn go to the comic book store and buy comic books. But everybody goes to the movie to see the new Avengers film. To see the new Spider-Man, the new X-Men, or whatever the case may be. So you're absolutely right. They parade us, they trot us out in front as like the social experiment. Like, oh, look, this is what life is all about. Like they're doing right now with Dwayne Wade. You know what I'm saying? They're using Dwayne Wade as the poster boy. Because it was funny, if I make sidebar real quick, please, sis.
I got some extra finish. It's on the same lines though. Somebody else.
No sweat. No sweat. Real quick. They love it. In anything else, a black man is the poster boy for negativity. Let's play a game. Who's the poster boy for animal cruelty?
Michael Vick.
Who's the poster boy for domestic violence? There's a few.
No.
Chris Brown.
That's one. There's like five. But go ahead. Chris Brown.
Is it Antonio? Was he?
No. Ray Rice. Ray Rice, because he hit his wife in that elevator. Ike Turner. We can do this all day. If you think domestic violence, you think of some black dude. You think animal cruelty, you think Michael Vick. Who's the poster boy for rape? Please. Bill Cosby. R. Kelly. Kobe Bryant. That's how they view this brother. Even after he was acquitted and died, they still, you know what I'm saying, Coons, they still view his brother that way. Right? The poster boy of any negative thing you can possibly think of is a brother. Period. Shoot. Matter of fact, who's the poster boy in the NFL for murder? Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez. But he's not the only one who's ever murdered somebody in the how could I forget? O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson. Black people right now will argue about you. If you say O.J. didn't do it, there's a black person right now that will like cry tears. Like, no, you did it. Black people have to stop. That's how O.J. Simpson, right? This man, that was what, 94, 95? 94. He's still the poster boy for committing a crime and getting away with it. Are you kidding me? as many white.
I seen
Snoop
something.
Dogg said he support his son because his son was taught with dress on. This
Please.
His name is Cordell. He's
Cordell.
yeah, bro, this and he is yeah.
I'm
And
just
he,
giving Snoop
so
big
not
ups.
only is Dwayne Wade, Snoop Dogg is saying that he okay with it too. So
You see how it works? Can I just say that the Isupk and the Commander General Yohana is the only place where integrity survives?
That's right.
Because we don't give a damn. The minute you say something that ain't right, you about it. 1 minute, Snoop Dogg was like on some like, we was like, oh yeah, Snoop, you a man, bro, because you said something about Kale, you put her in a place. But my son can wear a dress. Yo, Snoop, you a whole fool, bro. Like we cutting you off, we don't give a damn about you. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. The poster boy for everything negative is a black man, Hispanic man, all the time. That's how that works. But, please, sis.
I got something else I just thought about it.
Bring it out.
So Disney is doing this thing where they want boys to be princesses too. And guess that why they got a little black boy as the main
Oop, there it is.
little boy in the dress. They got
Disney
a little
owns
white boy
Marvel.
up there too, but the black boy is like the main little egg.
Again,
That boys can be princesses too.
They'll parade you know what I'm saying, some Caucasian out there. But the agenda works as such a test on us. There's a reason why we live in the projects. You know what I'm saying? It's called a project for a reason. Like what they do is because they know it's gonna affect. Because guess what? They came out and said Caitlyn Jenner, right? No more Bruce Jenner. Now this man was like a white pillar of white wick and all of this, and he was on the Wheaties box, famous. And they said he's no longer Bruce Jenner, he's Caitlyn Jenner. Well, here's the difference: white men don't look at Bruce Jenner like that. White men don't want to be Bruce Jenner. They don't look at him as a leader. They don't look at him as a pillar of manhood in the first place. White men look at their own fathers as pillars of manhood, their own families. These other celebrities, they're just people that's cool guys. They're not invested the way black people are. But black men and women look at the best of us. Like he's important. Like if he's doing this, then maybe that's how we're supposed to be. It ain't all black people saying, well, y'all need to stop. It's 2020. That's what they say.
I made a comment about Dwayne Wade on Facebook. It wasn't good either. And his sister came at me. She came at me like if I was saying something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't respond. I just said let her think.
There's no sweat, man. But listen, that's just what it is.
He destroyed his own.
100%. What you got, sis?
It just goes to pick up what you were saying a couple classes ago. Like, when we got on board with something, like, everybody was on board with it.
Exactly. Right. It's all a tactic. It's all Willie Lynch. It's all a tactic. Like you said about black women getting on board, you go look up, just find anything that has to do with homosexuality in the black community, lesbianism in the black community, transgender in the black community, and you will find a quote unquote straight black woman somewhere. Somewhere in there is gonna be a black woman who is a straight woman, she likes men, but she's somehow the leader of this movement. That's just how that works. That whole matriarchy thing, which is prevalent in our community still. I mean, you talking to a brother as when I'm not the only one. Many of my brothers can attest to this, not us, but I was raised by my dad and my mother, my family entirely, but the most dominant presence in my life was my grandmother. How many of us have experienced that to some degree? You know what I'm saying? Where you're the most active person is an older black woman. You know what I'm saying? So they play on that because guess what? That older black woman, just like we read in the Willie Lynch letter, is gonna make you a better slave. You get a black woman involved, and guess what? Now you can convince a man to teach his son to be a woman. Where's this kid's mother? Because Gabrielle Union is not his mother.
That's right.
At all. But nobody care about what she thinks. She ain't even involved in it. You get some black woman who's a celebrity, she in Hollywood or Hollyweird, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But we asked for this when we did what? You mentioned it, that's how we started this, right? Because under what president did these things change? Please. No, I think it was under Bush. Please.
I was about to say, what do you think about the conspiracy that Michelle Obama is not?
So scared of Trump. Oh my God, it's Donald Trump. He's gonna get us. Obama is the one who started all of that. Right. But as far as that goes, that's some conspiracy theory stuff. I don't involve myself in that. Listen, this I don't know. I mean, what please.
Because they, according to the document or the video or whatever, the reason why he pushed it is because she ain't.
I'm gonna be quite honest with you. That sounds like fake Israelite tomfoolery. Fake Israelites love to delve into things like that. I'm not saying I don't know, but at the end of the day, it's like I've seen people straight up lie about that situation. At one point, I ain't gonna say no names, but I know a sister who believes firmly that Michelle Obama was a man and that neither one of them kids was hers. Guess what? Here's the thing. She straight up was like, oh, they don't look nothing like her. I'm sorry. I don't see that. I don't see them looking nothing like her. That I don't see. That to me is crazy. To say they look nothing. That's crazy. Yeah, that's like you want to believe that, like, but please.
But they did have those kids' real parents online, but now you can't find it. You can, cause
I saw the real parents. They ain't nothing like them.
No, the one I seen, the youngest one looked like the mama, and the oldest one looked just like the daddy.
Hey, listen, if it is true, how about this? We will find out one day, but ultimately, who gives a damn? I'm with you. But it's like, it's one of those, I seen it and I'm just like, this is like the kind of people who say, like, you know, like Kobe Bryant was like assassinated. Assassinated? Kobe Bryant. What was that?
Umar Johnson.
He's so loud.
Umar Johnson said that the Illuminati.
Oh, he said it?
He said that Illuminati killed Kobe.
The goddamn Illuminati. The Illuminati is just killing. The Illuminati is supposed to get rid of Kobe. What in the hell? Kobe Bryant has never done anything like exceptionally big for black people, as far as I know. He's never done anything. He's a rich dude. He's pretty much transcended race. Everybody loves him for the most part, except maybe Shaq. But even Shaq, they're still cool. Like, what? Come on, bro. Like, this is crazy. Isupk, we don't get into that stuff, man. Michelle Obama being a man, if she is a man, I don't care, but I don't see enough evidence to suggest. I saw somebody trying to be like, oh, well, if you look at the dimensions of her hips, you see, it's like the line with, oh, you see, she's this tall. Guess what? I know a woman right now who's 6 foot tall. My sister, you know my sister. She's tall as all the way. Tall, big feet, all that. She just has my dad's genes. It's unfortunate for her. It's not unfortunate, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's not unfortunate. I'm just saying, like, women usually want to be dainty and everything. But she had my dad's genes. She has big feet, and she's 6 foot tall, and she's a girl. You know what I'm saying? My parents didn't come for me secretly when I was about 7 and say, listen, from now on, you have to call him, her, or nothing like that. That's crazy. You know what I mean? We don't get into none of that. But anyways, let me read this last part before we clip up. You know what I'm saying? So now, Obama, your good friend, who, you know what I'm saying, he's one of your people, right? Let's see. This is on Snopes. Did Obama administration build cages that house immigrant children at U.S.-Mexico border? This is while under scrutiny for treatment of immigrants, the Trump administration has been shifting blame to its predecessor. Claim the Obama administration, not the Trump administration, built the cages that hold many immigrant children at the U.S.-Mexico border. This website rated this claim to be true. Okay? As the well-being of immigrant children in U.S. detention remained a focal point of controversy surrounding the Trump administration early summer 2019, so did attempts to deflect blame to Trump's predecessor amid accusations of neglect and mistreatment. During the previous summer, the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy of separating immigrant parents from their children was so widely rejected by both political parties that even First Lady Melania Trump took the unusual step of repudiating it. In response to the backlash, U.S. President Donald Trump falsely putting the blame for the child separation policy on his predecessor, Barack Obama. It says falsely because, like the brother brought out, technically speaking, the treatment or what's happening in the cages is a Trump administration thing. But the actual cages that they're in were built as a product of the Obama administration. The Obama administration and the Trump administration are not two separate entities. They're not two different things. Obama wasn't a good guy and Trump's a bad guy, or Trump's a good guy. That's not how it works. Obama was the president of the United States. He's a Hamite. He does not care about black people. His father was from Kenya and his mother was British. And he grew up in Hawaii. He does not know anything about being black in America. Nothing. Or Hispanic, as you can tell. Please.
Obama was smooth. He was the man with the smooth.
That's what he was there for. He represented the image. Black people are we love celebrities. That's why they always tear them down in front of us. No different than when we read in the Willie Lynch letter about how they would rape a man in front of his family. Right. Or kill a man, beat him within an inch of his life, tar and feather a man, quarter a man, maim a man. You know what I'm saying? Because we're the ones who look at celebrities. Why? Because we're in the goddamn ghettos of America. A little black girl in the ghettos of America sees Serena on a TV screen and is mesmerized. Like, oh my God. Somebody that looks like me is on ESPN winning awards? Shoot, forget about it in the 90s. I remember in the 90s, early 2000s, when Serena was younger and they used to wear the beads. Remember that? Remember they used to rock the beads? And little black girls like, oh, somebody that wears beads like me is like being talked about on nationally syndicated radio and television. Brothers, we look at LeBron James and say, man, this is a brother from the ghetto like me. Right. And white people like him. Could this be? That's how we view these people. But the reality is that more often than not, they're only set up so that way we can look at them and forget and be distracted and not realize what's actually going on. Right. You know what I'm saying? We'll look at a LeBron James dunk a basketball or whether or not Aaron Gordon should have won the dunk contest, but we're not looking about what's actually going on in the news that relates to black people who are being destroyed and we're being killed. We won't look at those things. Right. You know what I'm saying? See, a so-called white man, yeah, he'll say, oh, I see LeBron James won the All-Star game. Okay. Well, let me look at the Dow Jones. Oh, man, it's down 20%. Up, sell. I got to move my portfolio. But let me check out what's going on over here and read over. They are so much more invested in their families, so much more invested in how they raise their children. But we are invested in celebrities. You understand? And like the brother was bringing out to close it out, Barack Obama was the president that we elected, that we put in office, and we read the article where we voted more than white people in that election. We actually, how is possible? 12, 13, 14% of the population, yet a way higher percentage of us went to the polls. If voting means so much, then why is it that white people don't always do it? Why doesn't every single one of them go to the polls and make sure whoever they want to be in office gets in office? Because they don't give a damn. It's their country. It's their system. We're the ones scrambling trying to say, well, maybe if we vote for him, if we vote for him. No. You understand? But they did a wonderful thing, man. That's what the Bible says what? Not only was his word smoother than butter and smoother than oil, but he's the most cunning beast of the field. Because they didn't put a president in front of us. They put a celebrity in front of them. They put a black man who plays basketball. He can dribble a basketball. And he has melanin. And he talks cool. Ooh-wee. Man, I'm going to vote for him because he can shoot. Because he's a hooper. I don't know what the hell his policy is about anything. I don't know what he's going to do about anything. I just know he's going to basketball. And he's black. I'm voting. And then after 8 years, it took 8 years because he got elected twice. And he was like, wait a minute. I don't think he did anything for us. You understand? That's a product of you thinking that a police system.
So like he only thing he did was make it harder for us to do certain things. For us, the things that he did, but we all know he did the Bears thing, but he also made it harder for people on insurance.
Right.
Before insurance, it still go to the hospital, it ain't treat you fairly.
Right.
But now, if you go to the emergency room and say you got the flu and you don't have insurance, you have to pay a deposit to be treated, or they're gonna put a Band-Aid on you, send you home, and you could die.
Wow.
Or you need to have major surgery, and they're not gonna do nothing for you, but give you some pain meds and send you home, because with Obamacare, everyone is made to have insurance.
Right.
You're not. It's not like a choice.
Exactly.
Like, you either get this Obamacare, or we're gonna tax you, and you got to pay it.
Right.
But they tax you extra when you don't have insurance.
It's all
You get taxed, and then you have to pay at the hospital just to go to the emergency room.
It's all a scheme to destroy you. It's all a scheme. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we at Isupk, we call out things like President's Day.
Right.
It's a slap in the goddamn face of every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, woman, and child.
Right.
President's Day, I don't give a damn if it's George Washington or Thomas Jefferson, who not only owned slaves, but impregnated Black slaves and had children with them and let them continue to be slaves. We can talk about that. We can talk about Andrew Jackson and his quote. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about the Trail of Tears. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about how Abraham Lincoln was actually a racist.
Right.
He emancipated the slaves, but he said out of his own mouth that if he could end the war without emancipating one slave, he would do it. You understand? America is the enemy of the Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man.
That's right.
You understand? And the Most High is going to deal with them. So just leave them alone. Leave their President's Days and their holidays alone. They got nothing to do with you. Come up in the Isupk and committed to you how to learn how to really love yourself and love Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. And put away these false holidays, man, these pagan traditions. And with that, we're going to pass the class over to Police Officer Mayor.
Isupk security announcements. We're the Isupk, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, 8 through 10. Means 10 in the Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'ashru. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, of course, it's on Durham, which is on the 24th and the 25th. Just remind I give the Aguati and check on the social media such as ISUBK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, so on for ISUBK events and materials. If your brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, I'm out.